in this women's Division II Varsity 8 Grand Final, getting ready to go. We've got just a handful of women's Division II, Division III, and eventually Division I Varsity 8 races headed your way to round out our morning session of grand finals. We should have a couple petite finals in there as well in the women's D3 and D1 events, but focus now on this D2 category. We've got 3 boats here: Vermont, Rollins, and Jefferson. Taking a look at our women's quad from Trent, accepting their gold medals. Really close race. This was a really interesting time trial yesterday. Megan called it super early on. She had noticed that these 3 boats were really maintaining the distances. We had a great drone shot, and in fact, the times between these boats, it was Rollins at 7 minutes, .049, Jefferson at 7 minutes, .949, and Vermont at 7:03.495. So an incredibly tight time trial yesterday, and it will be fun to see how this race shakes out today between these 3 boats. Again, all 3 guaranteed a medal in this Division II event, but obviously they want to come home with the gold. Final adjustments here for Vermont and Jefferson. Rollins also just picking it along there. Should see all boats squared up now. Just waiting on Vermont. Coxon needs to get this Vermont boat squared. And final adjustment here for Vermont. Just about 1 minute from the scheduled time here, so potentially waiting for that time. And there it is, UVM squared up, and they're off. Quick start there by the officials. A little bit of missed water there in the 4-seat of the UVM boat, so a bit of a difficult start as they try to adjust their point on the fly here. So a steering error in the UVM boat, but none the case for the Thomas Jefferson University boat in lane 4 rather. Out to a really good start here in front of Rollins and Vermont. But again, look for this race to remain close throughout, even though Jefferson is off to a really early lead here. Nice shot of our follow launch. With this smaller field here, we get a nice look at our lead boat in lane 4 from Jefferson.
Yeah, Jefferson got second in this event last year, so undoubtedly have worked quite hard to come back and will try to win this event, surely. So doing a great job of it so far, so we'll keep an eye on it. Again, we're not very far into this race, clear through the breakage, but we're still looking at Vermont making a little bit of steering correction here and there. Jefferson kind of running away with it for now, again, pretty early on in the race. So we'll see if they can maintain that speed and that pressure all the way through, because Rollins is certainly not just letting their feet off the gas here. So Rollins still overlapping Coxon to bow seat now and starting to fall back just a little bit as we speak. Jefferson really starting to make a push. These really long, nice, patient strokes with grip under the water. So Jefferson really doing a great job here. Just keeping those blades in the water with a little bit of pressure on the face of the blade. That means they're very efficient. They're getting their blades in on the front end and really allowing the work to be done for them as they get their legs down. And all that is not extra work, just keeping your blade in the water a little bit longer, since this is a leverage sport. Jefferson doing a really good job demonstrating that for us now.
Yeah, into the second 500 now. Jefferson hit the line just about a length out in front of the Rollins boat, same distance from Rollins to Vermont. So we're getting a nice even spread here across these boats. We'll see if those those gaps continue to grow between each of our three competitors, or if any of these boats can mount a comeback and start to draw things closer. But as we make our way, past the Camden County Boathouse here, Jefferson looking really strong, as you said. There's a lot of really nice things to point out in that boat. The blade work looking really, really precise here. And I think that they are continuing to kind of push this one open, as you see the 750 meter mark there. And you can see this is right about flush with our camera here, and the gap between Rollins and Jefferson, just about 4 seats of open water for Jefferson now.
Yeah, I actually have Jefferson understroking Rollins by about a beat and a half or so. So Jefferson, again, just being really efficient here. So understroking, still moving the boat forward at a higher pace here and a little bit further through the water, rather than just getting the rate up and going for it and letting the wheels fall off. So again, this is a very patient, nice, clean row from Jefferson that we're seeing here. Rollins rowing just a little bit higher. A little bit sharper on the front end, though. So again, as we've said before, it's a little bit of a battle of longer and adding a few more watts per kilogram, just a little bit more power under the water versus a slightly higher rate to just kind of pick the boat along and keep it moving nice and high. So again, stylistic choice. But here we are seeing these two at play. And right now, this is really working for Jefferson right now because they are still in the lead, but Rollins has definitely not let off. They have been a couple seats open water down on Jefferson, but stranger things have happened. We don't say it's over until it's over.
No, and again, Jefferson looking really strong here into this third 500 now. Vermont starting to drift back even further from this Rollins boat. So the gap between Jefferson and Rollins now about a length of open water. Rollins still looking strong, but you're right, that Jefferson boat seems to have even found another gear here into the second half of this race. Just an impressive row right now. And again, the time trials yesterday, these boats went out there, all they had to do was put down a time. So, a smart race plan might have been to say, hey, we don't need to do too much to get there tomorrow. Let's just go row a nice race, get ourselves in a good position to put down the best effort we can tomorrow. And I think now we're starting to see what this Jefferson boat is really capable of. You can see there the 1,500 meter mark, 500 meters left to go, approaching for our lead crew from Jefferson.
Yeah, that's right. And I always like to see if crews decide to do a kind of sprint and what type of sprint they decide to do when they're in a position like this with Jefferson. Again, this is a coxswain call. Do they stick to a race plan that they do no matter what? Do they decide to take it up a little bit more and just put an exclamation point on it? Do they decide to skip part of the sprint? Again, that is all up to the coxswain and coach and crew, a stylistic choice. We have no idea what their race plan will be. But as I say that, Jefferson has started to bring the rate up, I should say.
Yeah, really nice row here from Jefferson. Again, start to finish, they got out to a really, really good start there. And it seems like they've just improved as the race has gone along. Sign of a really well-coached boat here who knows exactly, what they were supposed to do when they went out there and are executing it to the nth degree here. 250 meters left to go for the lead boat from Jefferson. Nice shot here as we watch our lead boat take their final 10 strokes.
Yeah, look at this coxswain looking over, just making sure that nobody's coming, and she wants to get as much open water as she possibly can for her crew. That's always kind of the fun part, the cruel part of rowing. We say when you're in the lead, you can open up as much water as you possibly can just for pride. So here we are looking at Jefferson really making a mark here with a beautiful row, beautiful finish, very efficient all the way through the line, and it will be gold for Jefferson.
Excitement there in that Jefferson boat, for sure. Little handshake between the 8 and the 7 as Rollins crosses for the silver. And we'll stay here while the Catamounts finish things up in third. Results there, 7 minutes, right about the same time as the time trial yesterday for the Jefferson boat. There's UVM.